Okay.
Okay, so this is how to assemble an alarm, prepare it to put it in the car. I take my owner's manual and my keys, put them inside the car. I've emptied the contents of the box on the floor so I can work with everything. I put back inside the box the things I'm not going to use. In this case it's the siren because we're using the car's horn, and the starter kill relay, which we never hook up. Okay, next thing I do is I take and I snip all the zip ties off the wire packs. I lay my wires out.
And that is, or it doesn't matter yet.
I'll show you how I do it as I go, and I'll explain everything clearly. Now, at this stage of the process, we've already determined where we're going to put the alarm in the vehicle, where all the wires are in the vehicle that we're going to hook up to. This is important because it determines how we are going to set up the alarm, what wires we are going to group with what other wires, and what wires we do and don't need on the alarm itself.
We're doing a 2012 Honda Civic.
So, the first thing I do is I take my security light, my valet switch, and my shock sensor, and I plug those into the alarm. I do these because they are all on one side of the alarm, which I am going to end up taping and bringing to the other side of the alarm. I do this so every wire in the alarm comes off one wire loom. Everything plugs in nice and easy. Okay, then I take those three things that I just plugged in, as well as the antenna that comes off the car. I take the antenna, I bring it around, so I can make one wire loom out of this. Then I take my electrical tape, and I tape these together. I tape them about 3 to 4 inches, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Like so. The reason I do that is the rest of the wires for the alarm are going to come off this side. I end up taking this, and we're going to tape all the wires together eventually, so we have one wire loom coming out of the alarm. This looks more professional and makes it easier to work with. So we've done that part. Next, we the wire harnesses with what wires we need. We'll start with the main wire harness. Black is your ground. We always need our ground. White is your parking lights. We always need our parking lights. Red is your 12 volt power. We always need our 12 volt power. Brown is your siren or positive horn output. We sometimes need this. In this particular car, we are using a negative horn output. So we will be using the negative horn trigger in another wire loom. So in this case, we do not need this wire, so we cut it. We cut it with about 3 inches left in case we ever have to use the wire again. Next is this wire loop. Going from left to right, yellow is our ignition. We always need our ignition. The green and purple are for our dome supervision or door trigger inputs. These are what are used to set off the alarm if someone opens the door. In this car, the dome supervision is a negative trigger, which is our green. green is negative trigger, purple is positive trigger. So we need our negative trigger green wire. We do not need our purple wire.
Again, about 3 inches.
2 to 3 inches. Blue is our trunk pin wire. This is used to set off the alarm when someone opens the trunk. This is a negative trigger only. So in this case, it is also a negative trigger on the vehicle. So we use this wire just as is. Orange is what's called ground when armed. It is used exclusively for starter kill. We never use that, so we cut the wire, take it off. Pink is for a secondary accessory. If we had a power sunroof or some other accessory we wanted the alarm to control, we would use the pink wire. In this case, we will be using it. Gray is our trunk wire. We will be using it. Black and white is our dome supervision turn on. When you unlock the vehicle, this will send a negative pulse to the dome supervision wire to turn on the dome light when you unlock the vehicle. Maybe later in time we'll explain to you how to do this. For your purposes, we never use it. And brown with the white stripe is our negative horn trigger. We're going to use that. And our last harness is our door locks. Blue and green, we always use that as long as we have power door
For
locks.
lock and unlock.
Correct.
Which one is lock, which one is unlock?
Green is your lock, blue is your unlock. For standard negative trigger door locks, which is 95% of what you run into. Okay, so I've already determined where I'm going to place the alarm and where all the wires in the car I'm going to hook up to. So that's going to determine what wires I group together. The first set of wires I'm going to group together is our dome supervision and our door locks, because they're all kind of right next to each other. So I take those 3 wires that I need, which is green for lock, blue for unlock, and thicker green for dome supervision. Put those in the drill. I hold it about 1 inch away from the wire loom. I hold it tight so I don't accidentally pull the wires out of the wire loom. Twist it up, undo the grip. Okay, next, you're going to ground the vehicle and use the horn trigger in the same locations. So I'm going to take those wires, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, and then our parking lights, our power, our ignition, our trunk pin are all going to be going to the same location. Some of the wires, as in the parking light and power wire, are longer than the other ones, so we'll want to cut those to length.
I'm going to go ahead and cut these at 10 minutes. So that way I can put them on YouTube.
They won't take longer than 10 minutes.
We're already at 9.
And our trunk wire is going to be going to its own area, so we don't have that in a wire loom. Okay, I check all the connections, plug them in securely one more time, and I take my side wires, I move them over to the other wires, and I make one big wire loom that I tape up a little bit.
And this is the end of part 1.
And it's set up now.